What's up, everybody? I'm Johnny. I am currently a career coach and former UC Davis alumni. Go Aggies. Yeah. Aggies. Okay, moving on. In this video, I'll be sharing with you how I made over $16,000 as a UC Davis college student. More specifically, I'll be walking you through the different ways I made money, how I got the opportunity in the first place, and how much money I made from each gig, and some of the things that I would have done differently knowing what I know now. All in an attempt to help you experience college with less stress and more fun. Now, before we get started, if you're new here, I want to officially welcome you to my channel where I talk personal growth, careers, and high performance. Basically, everything that I like to learn, I'll be sharing here with you. If you like how that sounds, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell. And actually, while you're at it, destroy that like button as well. I'd very much appreciate it. Let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start with freshman year. My first position was as a research assistant on campus. So I entered Davis as a neurobiology major, or MPB major as they call it. And at the time, my goal was to become a psychiatrist. Initially, I thought to myself, okay, well, my first quarter, I should probably take it easy. It'll be an adjustment period. But I knew shortly after I would have to start beefing up my resume if I was going to stand out when applying to medical school. At the time, I was taking an intro to psychology class with the fantastic professor, Priscilla Sansucci. And after a couple of times seeing her in office hours, I asked her where she'd recommend that I look for research experience because I had no idea where to start. She then referred me to another professor, and within 1 week, I got a job interview and job offer to become a research assistant on her team over the course of 2 quarters. It all happened so fast, and at a later point in time, I was told that it was because not many underclassmen speak directly with the professor to find work experience, which she thought showed initiative. Now, I was mainly under the supervision of 2 graduate students, which is why I probably don't remember the professor's name. In this job, I was entering and coding research data and had a stipend of $2,000 over the course of 2 quarters. Before heading into sophomore year, my housemates and I moved into our off-campus housing at LaSalle Apartments a little bit early, and that was in North Davis. So because of that timing, I decided to take summer session 2. During that time, I got my second position as a research assistant again, and I was doing basically the same data entry and coding at the UC Davis Sports Medicine Clinic in Sacramento. I pretty much got this position in the same manner as I did the first position, and I also got a $2,000 stipend, which now looking back, I should have asked for more, but I was young at the time and I thought that $2,000 was the going rate. Oh well, I liked the experience. So during my sophomore year, I was really fortunate that my parents basically took care of everything that I needed. So I shifted my focus away from paid work and instead buckled down on schoolwork and extracurriculars. I became a member of the National Alliance on Mental Illness Club. I joined a homestead co-op volunteer service that I continued to do until I graduated. And I got more involved with the dance community at Davis with Agape and MK Modern. Now we're going to fast forward to my junior year. I got my part-time food service job at Makefish, which is a poke restaurant, and I basically got this job by printing a whole bunch of my resumes and practicing my pitch a million times, and then I literally went downtown Davis and walked into each business and asked to speak with the manager. So I worked here for 9 months, and it was minimum wage in Davis, so $11 an hour, 20 hours on average per week, which comes out to roughly $8,000 over that time span. And finally, heading to my senior year. After spending 3 years working towards a career in healthcare, I made a late-minute decision in my senior year to switch into the business world, which meant that I needed to find relevant work experience yet again to get a job right after I graduated. So then I applied to an internship with Launchpad, which you may have heard of, and here I was assisting with market research, I was making cold calls, and I was going door to door to canvass for a local political campaign. Because I was so desperate to find more work experience outside of healthcare, I felt like I had something to prove, and fortunately it showed. The following quarter, I was offered a position of project manager, where I was basically doing the same job with the added responsibility of supervising the next cohort of interns and making sure we hit all of our target goals. And I was paid based on whether we hit these goals. So I believe here I got paid close to $1,000 before I graduated and was ready to move on. And that, my friends, is basically my entire paid work and internship history during college. However, I also did make a little bit of money here and there throughout my 4 years at Davis by participating in a whole bunch of paid research opportunities and then selling items for profit or flipping items for profit. Let's start with paid research studies. I was basically UC Davis's guinea pig for the psychology, the sociology, and communications department. They always have research studies and paid research opportunities going on, and I went to as many of them as I could where I fit the requirement and where my schedule would permit. Most studies are listed as an hour time commitment, but usually it never takes that long, and I would get paid anywhere between $20 to $25 for participating. This was perfect if I ever had any 1 hour gaps in between classes, meetings, or practice, and I would say in total I probably made around $300. It's not as much as some of the other things that I did, but it did cover a whole bunch of date nights with my girlfriend, which, can go a very long way as well. Next, I would frequently flip items for profit. There were many occasions where students were too lazy to sell their textbooks or old clothing or furniture, and this was especially true when students were ready to move out of their apartment after their lease ended. And since they didn't want to sell it, they were willing to just throw it in the dumpster. So that's where I stepped in, and I would either do one, offer to do the work of selling it for them and split the money. Or number two, I would take it off their hands and offer a low price for everything, and I would sell each item individually on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Items range from old clothing to gym equipment and kitchenware, as well as small pieces of furniture. In total, over 2 years at Davis, I would say I made roughly over $3,000 doing this. Keep in mind that I'm being super conservative about these numbers because I graduated almost 3 years ago, and I certainly did not keep track of my finances back then the way I do now. If you like this video so far, then make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below and let me know how you are either planning or currently making money as a college student. Okay, moving on, here are some of the things that I would have done differently knowing what I know now. Freelance work. I think doing freelance work is an amazing way for college students to earn money while also building their portfolio with relevant work experience. For example, if you're studying graphic design, you can do design work for entrepreneurs, content creators that need your help creating social media posts, templates, logos or shirt designs, and much more. If you're an English major, you can write short articles for short business blogs. For me as a psychology major, I could have seen myself benefiting from a wide array of marketing and market research gigs. Especially since we're college students and we have less experience than working professionals, we are in an awesome position where we could charge slightly less and undercut most of the competition, all while earning some good income and building relevant work experience at the same time. As a bonus, most freelance projects can fit within the ever-changing college student schedule. The other thing I would have told my younger self is to just invest my money. Just start, even if it's just a little bit. Now, this method isn't necessarily going to make me money in the short term to use as a college student, but if I had known the power of compound interest and having my money work for me, then I would have put in $200 into an investment account when I was 18 years old as a freshman instead of starting when I was 22. Take this as an example. If you're 20 years old now and you continue to invest just $200 per month over the next 35 years at a 7% rate of return, which is reasonable to expect over the long term, by the time you're 55, you'll have a bit over $330,000, even though you only invested a total of $84,000 of your hard-earned money. That means you would have gained a whopping $246,000 in your sleep. And that's assuming that you never increase your monthly contribution as you progress in your career. With that said, obviously, if you do increase your monthly contribution, then you could either retire from your job much earlier or with much more money so you can spend your time elsewhere. To recap, I did on-campus and off-campus jobs, I did internships and one-time gigs that totaled over $16,000 over the course of my 4 years at Davis. And everything I earned, I basically paid for textbooks, groceries, a portion of my rent and utilities, as well as date nights to spend with my girlfriend or hanging out with my friends. Even just a couple $100s would have gone a long way. So looking back, I'm really glad that I did all this. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell. And while you're at it, hit that like button as well, and comment down below and let me know how you plan on saving or spending your money as a college student, and more importantly, how it will help you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.